Hey guys. Yeah, my wife, she finds these articles and she knows about the man blog and stuff, so anytime she finds something that she thinks I might find interesting, she sends it to me. And this morning I woke up to this in my message box. It's from the Telegraph, a website in the UK. But look at that, the headline is, DIY is in decline because today's men are too soft. Well, I've known that for a while. I've kind of seen it coming. I'm glad to see it's also going on in the UK, not just here in America. But anyway, yeah, down here at the bottom, the caption to the picture says, DIY used to make us feel manly. Now, being a man in the old-fashioned sense is deeply unfashionable. So yeah, that kind of, I don't know. I thought, man, that kind of sucks. But then I look over here, my son's Facebook. My son has posted, O'Reilly workers be like wiper blades. Is that two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive? And of course that warmed my heart that my son actually found the humor in that. He's 19 years old. I've made him work on his own stuff. Anytime I have an opportunity to teach him how to do stuff on his vehicle, I make him do it himself. I've made him order his own parts. As a matter of fact, I even commented here under the picture. See if I can get that to come into focus. Yeah, V6 or V8, air conditioned. Because you know they always ask you that. Even if it's all you're looking for is wiper blades, they're going to ask you all the questions. And then I said, yeah, now you know why I taught you to look up your own parts. And he does. I've taught him to look up his own parts. He's ordered his own parts off of RockAuto, and he looks up his own parts on the O'Reilly website just like I do. When I go into O'Reilly, I don't go in and ask for parts. I walk in with a list of part numbers and just have them grab them off the shelf for me. But anyway, I've got my coffee and my cigar sitting over there. Let me stick you up on the tripod and we'll shoot the bull. Hey, as usual, you know me. I can't start off with shooting the bull unless I've got my cigar and my coffee. No special mug today, just my regular old Bubba mug. Everybody that knows me knows that I don't go very far without my Bubba mug. Even when I had those other mugs, my Bubba was probably sitting right over there on my workbench. But anyway, guys, yeah, I hope I didn't sound too much like I was bad-mouthing O'Reilly. I mean, O'Reilly's a good place to get your parts. They're not like they used to be. O'Reilly is a hometown company for me. I grew up in Springfield, Missouri, which is the home office of O'Reilly, where O'Reilly started. When I first started buying auto parts, there was like 2 O'Reillys in Springfield. I think the people that worked there actually had the last name O'Reilly. But you could go in and you could ask them advice. They were guys that knew what they were talking about on cars. When O'Reilly got so big, it just got to a point where now the guys are making $9-10 an hour. I mean, come on, let's face it. You're not going to get a professional mechanic to come out of a shop making 20, 25, 30 bucks an hour and go to work at O'Reilly. Anybody that knows what they're doing is working for way more than $9-10 bucks an hour. So yeah, I'm not trying to badmouth O'Reilly at all, because if you want your parts to be cheap, you know they can't have expensive labor in there. It's give and take. If you want cheap parts, you got to deal with cheap labor. The best thing to do is, like I've done and like I've taught my son to do, look up your own parts, look up your own numbers, just walk in with a list of numbers. You know, a little story about O'Reilly. I was in there a couple months ago, and I had just looked up some parts for my old 83 Ranger, and one of the parts that I looked up was spark plug non-foulers. If you guys know what a spark plug non-fouler is, it's just a piece that looks like a little tube funnel looking thing that goes on a spark plug, keeps it from fouling out if you're burning a lot of oil or anything like that. But anyway, I had just looked those up, and I was in O'Reilly, and the old man in line in front of me asked the kid for, he wasn't sure what the name of them were. He said, I just want the sleeves that go on your spark plugs that keep them from gunking up. And the kid, he went back there, and the first thing he brought up was a new set of spark plugs, and the old man said, no, I don't need spark plugs, I need the piece that keeps them from gooking up. And of course I'm standing there, and I knew exactly what he was asking for, but I wanted to wait it out and see what all this kid did. So the next thing the kid brought up was a spark plug gapper. And the old man said, no, you know, I've got like 6 of them in my toolbox. What I need is the piece that keeps them from gunking up. So finally, after about 5 minutes and the kid bringing the guy everything but a spark plug non-fouler, I told the kid, it's called the spark plug non-fouler, punch it up on your computer there. So he did, and sure enough, he found the guy the right thing. But I mean, it cracked me up. You know, these people that they've got working in there, they're not going to know much. They are, you know, starting, what do they call it? You know, entry-level people. They're people that are just basically starting out in the automotive. And nothing against them. You know, they're going to learn, and just like this kid now will never forget what spark plug non-foulers are. But anyway, yeah, like I said, I'm not bad-mouthing O'Reilly at all. I do use O'Reilly. I prefer to use RockAuto because it's a lot cheaper. You know, RockAuto has 3-4 warehouses as opposed to 5 or 6 warehouses and, you know, 2,500 stores or whatever. That stuff gets expensive. If you're just shipping out of warehouses to keep your overhead down, that's why we can buy a lot cheaper on RockAuto. But you have to know what you're buying. You know, you can't go on RockAuto and ask them, what do I need? You got to go on there and you got to know what you're looking for and all that. But anyway, alright, let's talk about the Royals. Yeah, guys, I don't know. They're bringing it home, and they're going to have to win the 2 games at home in order to take the World Series. San Francisco's just got to win 1 more. They beat us twice in San Francisco. One of them was a complete shutout game. First shutout ever in like 11 seasons, I think. So yeah, that's kind of a bummer. But I don't know, either way, they're both good teams. For me, it's all in fun. I'd like to see Kansas City win it, but, you know, may the best team win. As far as the Chiefs go, they're doing okay. They beat the Rams yesterday. They kind of looked like crap, but the Rams looked a little worse. So yeah, they didn't play a great game, neither did the Rams, and I guess that's why they beat the Rams. But yeah, I don't know, I wasn't impressed. They did okay, they won by the skin of their teeth, and we'll take that. Anyway, last week I showed a video from like 1951, and everybody commented, and everybody that commented seemed to really like that old commercial. So I want you guys to check this one out. Anybody that ever went to any kind of automotive sports back in the 70s probably remembers Joie Chitwood and his guys. But anyway, I found this video and I thought you guys would really enjoy it. Check this out.
This is The Outfit, a rolling caravan that tours the highways and byways of America, bringing a thrill-packed show to hundreds of thousands of spectators all over the country throughout the year. Day after day, night after night, the equipment is unloaded for the grueling series of breathtaking routines that a talented troupe of daring drivers perform with the same fleet of regular production model cars. Yes, this is The Outfit, and this is the slogan they swear and live by. I drove all 3. Comparison proves it's Chevrolet for me. And here's a man who should know.
I'm Joie Chitwood. I'm the boss of this outfit, so be my guest. Join the crowd that's come to take in the exciting thrill-a-minute show that my boys and I put on. Popcorn, peanuts, and red hots for the customer, and a real hot car for the drivers. Chevrolet's the only one we use, not a souped-up reinforced model, but the same Chevrolet you'll find on any showroom floor. The hundreds of thousands of people who catch our show in a season see with their own eyes that the cars they can buy are the same ones we drive. And I'm giving it to you straight. My boys and I give hundreds of performances, day and night, with this same fleet of Chevrolets. And when you see the pounding we give them in these highlights from various shows, you'll get an idea of why the car we use has to be able to take it. And now, here's our announcer getting the show underway.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in behalf of Joie Chitwood and his world champion Auto Thrill Show. And now moving along with the individual introduction of each of the Daredevil stars driving brand new 1956 Chevrolet cars.
That's how we take our bows. Just the drivers, mind you, not the Chevrolet. We can spin on a dime and give you a nickel change. Believe me, it takes more than hard braking and an expert at the wheel to do that. It takes a combination of balanced weight distribution, plus the way Chevrolet's front-end suspension is built into the chassis. There's the combination that makes for sure-footed, anti-dive braking control. Safer, easier all-around handling with a car that'll stop heads up. Yes, safer by a long shot, even in a full reverse spin, which we wouldn't wish on anybody driving on highways. But if it happens in an extreme emergency, Chevrolet's combination of outrigger rear springs and body balance are protection against a rollover. I don't expect you'll ever run into any road hazards like these, but here's another example of Chevrolet's ability to meet and beat an emergency. It's like balancing an egg on a toothpick. It takes more than driver juggling to do it. Balanced frame construction is what lets us ride this two-wheel tightrope. Oops. Think we'll make it? Well, take a look at the rugged steel backbone in that chassis. A rigid box girder frame with no excess weight, and with a road-holding low center of gravity, makes it a cinch for us to come off these runs right side up. Just in case you're wondering what would happen if my boy didn't make it, I've rigged this little stunt. Up and over. And these especially braced old jalopies we use in our shows really take a pounding. But it wouldn't prove a thing unless we put one of our regular cars in our fleet through this exact same routine. And this will really give you an idea of how rugged Chevrolet is, because we run them brand new in this rollover demonstration, and this 1956 Chevrolet has no special reinforcement whatsoever. Here we go. Hold it. This is too good to miss. So let's start at the beginning again and run it real slow so you can see for yourself the full wallop this car takes on the rollover. As tough as any proving ground test a car can be put through. Durability? Brother, that solid, sturdy, double-wall steel construction really gives durability to Chevrolet. Because here we are, heads up and running. A car that can do that means the world to you in your everyday driving. And talking about everyday driving, I'm sure you won't get tied up in many situations like this. But to be freewheeling in tight spots where every inch counts is something we just don't take for granted. We've got to be sure of split-second response with every turn of the steering wheel. And no matter how or where you drive, when threading through traffic, cornering, taking the wide turns or the sharp turns on the highways, steering control is the key to easy, fatigue-free handling. You'll want that split-second response, and you'll get it from the same place we get it, from Chevrolet's ball race steering gear. It cuts friction and drag down to practically nothing. Besides, these outrigger rear springs mounted outside the frame members reduce sway and body roll on the sharpest of turns, producing sure fire control every foot of the way. Routines like this could be a tough, nerve-wracking grind. But behind the wheel of a Chevrolet, they're just the smooth, easy-handling pleasure that's tops in our book, and can be the same for any driver who chooses Chevrolet. Now, no matter how good roads are these days, your car still takes plenty of bumps and jolts. But they're nothing compared to this ramp jump I'm going to show you for demonstration purposes. No sway, no swerve. Perfect balance and a perfect landing. It's a jarring test of the springs, chassis, and frame, and the pounding we give these same cars day after day proves beyond all doubt that they're built to take it under the roughest driving conditions. Of course, no one drives on such roads all the time, but the times that you do, it's good to know that the Chevrolet you drive can take this kind of punishment. I'm sure you won't be doing this kind of high flying, and no man would, even in this business, if he wasn't absolutely sold on the car he used. It takes power, the solid, dependable V8 power you've got at the tip of your toe when you press down on a Chevrolet accelerator. In case you missed some of that, we'll try it again. This is something we can do only on film, but it'll show you how steady Chevrolet is, even flying high like this. And in this demonstration, you'll see 1956 Chevrolet durability put to the acid test. A car has to have everything to do this and survive, especially durability. And considering that this same car was used for the rollover stunt, it's really rugged. Here's another chance to see what I mean. With Chevrolet, I know I can drive away under my own power every time. And I've got to know if I'm going to put on another show tomorrow. You can take my word, we live to drive, and drive to live. And Chevrolet is the car we trust our lives to. Day in, day out, night after night, we show off our driving skills with this package of driving thrills. But more than that, we prove every day that the extra margin of safety every family wants in a family car is built into a Chevrolet.
Yes, this is the outfit, and here is the slogan they swear and live by. I drove all three. Comparison proves it's Chevrolet for me. It's a cinch this fellow knows, and you'll know too, once you get behind the wheel of a Chevrolet.
Yeah, guys, isn't that pretty cool? I thought it was awesome. I didn't realize that Joie Chitwood advertised for Chevy like that. I mean, I went to shows as a kid, you know, and I watched all of the Joie Chitwood shows. They were driving Chevettes when I was a kid. They had Chevettes, and they were doing where they had the tunnel thing, and they would drive the Chevettes and jump them out it almost looked like shooting a Chevette out of a cannon or something. But yeah, that was pretty cool. The old cars, man, in that video, it just cracked me up the way the amount of body roll them old cars had and stuff. I mean, you know, and the stunts they did were just so hokey, and you know, as compared to what guys are doing with cars nowadays, that was nothing. But I mean, I'm sure the crowd was just amazed with what they were doing. You know, like I said, them old cars with that amount of body roll, and you know, they didn't have disc brakes all the way around like they do now. Them guys were working with drum brakes on all four wheels and just, you know, stuff like that. It just cracked me up. But still, cool video, an awesome video for, I think it came out in 1956 or something like that. But anyway, yeah, I'd like to wrap it up with that. Again, I'd like to thank you guys for watching and liking and sharing and subscribing to my videos. And again, you know, it keeps me doing it. I wouldn't do it if I didn't think at least one person was out there watching. And I hope you all liked my last video that I posted, which was where I made my wife a Halloween costume. I don't know, I thought it was pretty cool. But anyway, thanks you guys, and hope you have a good one. We'll talk to you later.